Daniel Sports Central, we go over a March Madness game preview and prediction on the Sweet 16 matchup between the Houston Cougars and the Miami Hurricanes. Huge match for both teams coming up here in the Sweet 16. You got Houston. This is a team that is all around dominant, and they could beat anyone in this tournament. They could go all the way, and it wouldn't be surprising one bit. They're taking on Miami. But the Hurricanes, this is a dangerous team. They're a dark horse in this tournament. They are very much able. They got the experience, and they are very much able of going all the way as well. So sky's the limit for both these teams, and this is a huge one coming up here in the Sweet 16. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this match here today, starting with your team trends. Houston beat Auburn in the second round. 81-64 was the final score, and you know that game was close for a long time. The Tigers gave Houston a fight for a while, and at halftime, Auburn was up, but Houston came back into it and got the win, 81-64. A really impressive second half is what Houston had in that one, and they're 33-3 overall heading into this matchup. As for Miami, this team knocked off Indiana, 85-69. A really impressive win for them as well. Both teams coming off of, I'd say overall, very impressive wins in the second round. You look back to the first round, Houston did struggle a bit with Northern Kentucky for a while. Kind of the same story in both of Houston's tournament games so far. They started a bit slow, but got into it in the second half and dominated in the end. But for Indiana, yeah, this team had a dogfight against Drake for a while, but got the win there. And once again, we mentioned the win against Indiana, which was certainly an excellent win for them, winning at 85-69. This team is 27-7 overall heading into this matchup. Games be on Friday, March 24th in Kansas City, Missouri. Tip-off is 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Spreads going with Houston here by 7, so the Cougars are favored by a decent amount, which, I mean, you could expect that. When you got Houston, who's had an outstanding season, and this is a team that is, I mean, it doesn't matter who they play in this tournament, they're going to be brutal to beat. And this is a team that is a tough out, and so seeing Houston favored by 7, really not too surprising. Over-under is 138, and we talked about the tournament runs for both teams. Houston has knocked off Northern Kentucky and Auburn. As for the Hurricanes, they knocked off Drake and Indiana. Your stat comparison, Houston averages 75 points a game, and they allow 56.5. This is a team that is all around an excellent team. I mean, all around. I mean, if you look at the defensive side, I mean, when you got Jamal Sheed, who's defending, I mean, he in himself is a massive threat. He's an all-around threat, and teams have had trouble with him in this defense all season. That's just been the case in the American, and Houston in this tournament so far is, especially in the second half, once this team has gotten warmed up and gotten into the game a bit, this team has become very dangerous and brutal to beat for that matter. And you look at Miami on the other side, this team averages 79 points a game, allows 72, and if you look at the BPI, Houston is actually at the top of the BPI. They're number 1, and Miami is a ways down in comparison to Houston at 36. Your notable matchups, Houston, they lost Alabama at one point this season by 6, but they do have wins over Virginia and St. Mary's. They were 2-1 against Memphis this season, and also knocked off Oregon, a team that is towards the top of the NIT. They were a team that could have made the tournament. They were a bubble team for a while, just didn't, but still an impressive win, beating the Ducks by 10. And as for Miami, they beat Virginia by 2. They were 1-2 against Duke. They lost to Maryland by 18, so that was a disappointing loss there. I mean, Maryland's a good team, but they got dominated there. And they split the series against both Pitt and NC State, 2 of the 11 seeds in this tournament. Moving on to your key points, you got Houston, 33-3 overall. This is an elite balanced team that knows how to win. I mean, obviously, this team's got 33 wins on the season. They dominated in the American Athletic all season. And when you got Marcus Sasser, who is a consistent scorer, averages 17 points a game. You got Jamal Sheed, who is one of the best defenders in the nation. I mean, this is a really well-balanced team, and that's really what it comes down to for your favorites to win the tournament. And your true outstanding teams are ones that are complete. And if you look at the 2 top teams in the country and your 2 favorites to win this tournament, Houston and Alabama, both teams are definitely the most complete teams in this tournament. But yeah, Jamal Sheed, nothing short of outstanding, and this is a team that is more than capable of winning it all. You look at the rest of the tournament, I mean, the rest of the tournament field, 2 of the 1 seeds are eliminated in Kansas and Purdue. I mean, Purdue went out in the first round to a 16 seed. Truly insane. But, I mean, otherwise, you look at the rest. I mean, you got Texas, who's a 2 seed. Winner of this game potentially plays Texas in the Elite Eight. So it's going to be a battle no matter who wins between Xavier and Texas, but and this matchup for that matter. But you got Alabama, who's definitely a threat. I mean, Tennessee's been playing pretty well in this tournament so far, especially on defense. I mean, you can't sleep on Gonzaga or UCLA either. So, I mean, there's still several teams that can win this tournament, but Houston is definitely up there as one of the favorites for me. And for Miami on the other side, this is a team that is dangerous. Isaiah Wong is a true all-around threat. Keep an eye on him. I mean, he can beat you anywhere. He's an excellent scorer. I mean, he averages 16 points a game. And, I mean, yeah, he is all-around just an outstanding player. And you look at this team all around, they do lack size. That's the main concern for this team, but they're still an outstanding team. Defensively, they get it done. I mean, they're 27-7, and they're a 5 seed in this tournament. I mean, they've done it right this season, and this is a dangerous team that, honestly, they could beat anyone. They've already beaten Drake. They took care of Indiana in the second round. At this point, the sky's the limit for Miami's. We look forward to the Sweet 16. But that said, let's get the prediction for Houston and Miami coming up here in the Sweet 16. In the end, I do have to go with the favorite. I just like Houston too much. I'm going with them. 67-62 is my predicted final score. I think the Hurricanes put up a fight here. You know, the spread's going with Houston by 7, but I think the Canes hang on and make this a game and keep it close. I will say this, though. Houston in the first half of their first 2 games of the tournament, between the Northern Kentucky game and the Auburn game, they did start a bit slow. So for Houston, I mean, that's only going to work for so long. As you continue to proceed on, you're only playing tougher opponents, especially in the Midwest region, and Miami's a step up from Auburn now. So, I mean, for Houston, you got to start fast in this game. You can't get down early. And like for Auburn, I mean, Auburn played really well in the first half and had the lead at the half, but Houston came back in the second half. And, I mean, that's not always going to work, though, too. So, I mean, for Houston, got to start fast. That's a huge thing for them. And for Miami, just hang on. And obviously for them, they're trying to do the opposite. They got to build a lead early to have a chance in this one, as Houston is all around a brutal team to beat. But I'm going Houston once again by 5. I'll say 55% towards the Cougars here. Over-under's 138. I'm taking the under, and Miami to cover the spread in the end. But let me know your thoughts and comments below on this matchup, and I appreciate you guys watching as always. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Catch you on the next one.